sending and receiving information is the major function of the brain. It receives stimuli from the environment, conceives them, process and send them back to the environment. On a daily basis, we are building our memory according to the environment and surrounding as well as the level of our exposure. So dementia is one of the tragic problem, hectic problem affecting people in the environment whereby memory become lost. It is not just forgetting names or the keys, it's a gradual overwhelming of the mind while memories fade and the essence of oneself begins to blur. Dementia is a journey not just for those who live with it, but for everyone around them. You can go to market where you can't be able to remember anything. Wow, it's really important that we go together. So, but in the face of these challenges, that is hope. Through understanding, support, and ongoing research, we are going to explore the most important component of prevention dementia. Let's face it, this is what we are going to explore in this series. Very strange indeed. You have spent years gaining apparent skills and experience as well as knowledge. Possibly you have read a lot of books, thousands if not millions of papers, still retaining information. That's awesome. As a possible, you can track, move from town A to B within cities. You can travel from town to town, from city to city, from country to country. You can use GPS. That's the capacity of your memory and ability of your cognition. What could it be? Like you wake up in a night over progressively over a period of time, weeks or months. You couldn't be able to pick up, you couldn't be able to remember things you have read years ago. What could it be? Wow, this is really tragic, this is hectic. People are dying because of this problem. What can that be? Your brain is gonna be like just it's locked up. You couldn't be able to remember anything. You can't put anything in and you can't remember or take anything from your brain out. So your brain is just like a skeleton of something that is not of any use of that. So what does that mean? Dementia. So in this station, in this series, we're going to explore the potential natural ways to prevent dementia without taking any medication. Taking medication are good, but remember, some of the medication have more side effects than the function they will provide for your brain. What could it be? Can it affect everyone? Dementia can affect everyone? These are questions that people are asking. Can social media affect the way you are thinking or can it cause you earlier development of dementia? The more person engaging with social media, can it be a responsible or a risk factor for having dementia? What is it? What can it be? Can it be prevented? Is it possible to prevent it naturally? Yes, of course. That's the essence of this series. So, what dementia means? What does the word dementia stand for? Dementia. Dementia stands for a progressive decline in cognitive functions. Cognition stands for your ability to remember things. That's your memory. Your thinking capacity, your learning faculties, the way you can be able to learn your languages, the ability to talk, comprehension. These are all your cognitive functions. So dementia is completely the progressive decline of all these functions. Really tragic. So, meaning the way from the Latin word dementia, D means without, dementia means mind. So without mind, a person who's moving like just a psychological person who is just a psychotic. So it is really important to stay with us so that we can explore together the possible ways to treat or prevent dementia naturally at home without taking any medication or drugs. Let us discuss regarding the types of dementia. The commonest type of dementia is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, it is believed to be, according to American university, especially the Pennsylvania State Universities. It mentions it is due to excessive accumulation of beta amyloid as well as tau protein around the hippocampal part of the brain, which is one of the important components or parts of the brain dealing with the memory. So this led to decreased coupling or causing like decreased coupling between the movement of the cerebrospinal fluid within the brain and the generalized or global brain function. As we can see in this functional MRI, there is decreased function because it is the third ventricle, okay, third ventricle. So you can see there is decreased function at the generalized function of the brain and the CSF. You can see, okay. In the normal brain, it takes up to 9 seconds or 9.9, whereas in the abnormal brain, the Alzheimer's disease brain, it's just finished around 8 seconds. So you can see like decreased coupling between the fluid movement in the brain as well as the generalized global brain function above. So this is due to excessive accumulation or the protein which is accumulated around the brain restricts the brain motion and activities. So the second type, let's talk about the symptoms. The symptoms of Alzheimer's disease include the following. The first occur is progressive loss of memory, which will lead to confusion because a person who cannot locate his home will start to confuse. After confusion comes behavioral changes. The second type of dementia is vascular dementia. Vascular dementia, as the name mentioned, is due to impact, okay, or impairment of the blood supply to the brain. Normally, heart pump blood up to 15% of the blood is going into the brain. So, if there is any damage, especially due to series of ischemic stroke, like series of decreased blood supply to the brain, will lead to damage of the brain, affecting the part like local part, which will lead to localized problem, emotional changes as well as the memory loss. Excessive recurrence of occlusion, both like the complete blockage of the blood supply to the brain, will lead to ischemic stroke, causing damage to the brain, causing the problem with the vascular. So, or if sometimes there is recurrent hemorrhage, blood coming out of the blood vessels into the brain cell, damaging the brain tissue, as we can see in this case. The next type of dementia is what we call Lewy body dementia. Lewy body dementia is a dementia which is due to excessive accumulation of Lewy body, which is a protein inside the brain, especially around the nucleus of the brain of the neuron, and restrict the communication between the neuron, causing decreased or sluggish movement of the information and processing of that information, which will lead to decrease or decline the cognitive function of the person. The next types, like in the Lewy body, you can see due to accumulation of this protein will affect the brain, causing the following symptoms: motor impact, visual hallucination, as well as the memory loss, which is the main dementia. So you can see the next type is called frontotemporal dementia. In the frontotemporal dementia, as the name mentioned, it is a dementia which is affecting the frontal as well as the temporal part or lobes of the brain. So it is due to excessive restriction or decrease or shrinkage of the temporal and the frontal lobe of the brain, causing decline and sluggish like communication between the brain and the neuron, these two lobes. So just what will happen? Usually the frontal part or the frontal lobe of the brain is dealing with the personality. So it just will lead to affection the person personality, changes in the personality. And then the language part, especially the temporal part, as well as the memory impairment. The fifth type of dementia is Parkinson's dementia. Like it is a past patient with the Parkinson's disease but has super-added dementia. So the triad of the Parkinson. So Parkinson is usually due to excessive or abnormal dopaminergic pathway, especially in the striatum, which is predetermined and decoded of the brain to the cortex, to the putamen and nucleus, deep gray matter within the brain, as well as the substantia nigra within the brain, midbrain. So what will happen? As normal as usual, that will be the triad of Parkinson's disease, bradykinesia, rigidity, abnormal tremors, with a super added memory loss. That's dementia. So the few types that we can even mention, like we can say that it's mixed type, whereby person will have combined type of dementia, and also like NP8, which is called normal pressure hydrocephalus. So now, what is dementia? Like, could it be possible to say, like, can we differentiate between dementia and normal aging? Of course, yes. So what will happen? Like in dementia, usually patient will lose failure to make decision and judgment, okay, and also like often in aging, normal aging, the patient will have often like poor decision, but not that frequent. When it comes to daily tasks, in patients with dementia, they will fail to perform most of their daily tasks without help, without support from by others or from others, whereas patient with normal age can do most of their tasks with the exception of a little part of it. When it comes to dialogue, patient with dementia will have very poor word selection, cannot be able to talk, cannot be able to comprehend some sentence, and while the agent can make a few mistakes as normal individuals. When it comes to orientation, to person, place, and time, patient with or person affected who having dementia, they are usually too great. They are lost. They can't see. They can't measure it. Well, but the patient or the person who is normal, okay, the person who is normal, mostly they are oriented to person, place, and time. So what could it be? What is the damage or the impact of dementia globally? We can see America is affected by dementia. Towards the 2050, there will be progressive increase in dementia by 50% in America, in Africa, but with a 30% in Europe, and in Asia, which is going to be also around 50%. So globally, there will be increase in dementia. So what is happening now? 2 out of 3 persons don't understand, or they don't understand what dementia is. And out of the people living in especially low income and middle class country or middle income countries are really the ones to suffer most, with the increase by which will lead to increase in dementia by 60% toward the next 25 years. So there will be around 130 million people affected by dementia in most of the low income and middle income countries. So the next fact to understand is every 3 seconds, like in every 3 seconds, one person is been affected or is affected by dementia. One person developed dementia. Wow, it is a very important to address. This is according to Alzheimer's Disease International. So let us see, it is possible, what will be the impact when it comes to financial and economic. So like that will be increased toward 2030, the next coming 5 years, according to WHO Global Report. As you can see, 2021, it is almost 2.8 trillion USD that will be spent in treating patients or persons with dementia. Let us work together. So what could be the important part? Is there any preventive measure that we can take? What would be the preventive measure? There are many. That's what we are going to explore in this series of the lectures, whereby we are going to explore all the possible ways to prevent occurrence or getting dementia and prevent earlier at the progression of those with the dementia, so that we can be able to decrease, to help people globally. So what would be that? That could be like enhancing cardiovascular function, which we are going to discuss more into detail. The part of exercise, routine exercise, physical exercise. The next one, the prevention of brain damage, as well as the proper and adequate sleeping. When it comes to the next one, which is proper diet. Diet is very important. We're going to discuss many important diets that will enhance your memory and prevent early dementia. So Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.